Hey, I'm Fabian, or Fabian. I am a 23-year-old from Fort Worth, Texas. So, welcome. If this is your first time watching any video on this channel, I haven't posted in a while, but trying to test it out again, trying to be more consistent, and we'll see how that goes. This channel will be things that are like I'll be talking about just random topics kind of that I'm passionate about that maybe have been on my mind lately, and they'll just be kind of broad spectrum all over the place. And you know, maybe there are a few topics that you may resonate with. Luka got traded from the Los Angeles Lakers to the Dallas Mavericks. As I mentioned earlier, I'm from Fort Worth, so I have a lot of friends that are currently kind of feeling a lot of emotions over this, a lot of betrayal, a lot of sadness. And I just kind of wanted to elaborate on that, right? Like, I wanted to talk about how changes in sports kind of impact you. Um, I know that at the end of the day, it is a game. It doesn't have a direct impact on your livelihood, on your health, on your family. But at least for me, the way I think about sports a lot of the times is that I kind of associate like certain memories to like a game that I was watching, right? Like, oh, I remember watching this one game with my dad when I was younger, or I remember being with my group of friends just hanging out on a random Saturday night when this one team was playing, and that's kind of how I see it a lot of the times. So even though I'm from Fort Worth, I am like a huge LeBron fan. I kind of started watching LeBron actually during that 2011 Dallas Mavericks series, and ever since then, I've kind of just been following his career really. Whenever LeBron first got to LA, I wasn't like admittedly I wasn't watching a lot of games. During that time, I was a junior, senior in high school, so I was worried about like SATs and college admissions and stuff like that. That second year, they got Anthony Davis. Um, I still hadn't been watching at that point. I started watching a lot more once after the pandemic had hit. I was watching a lot of those games. I'd been following a few Lakers games, here and then, but it definitely wasn't as many as I was watching during that bubble period, whenever all the teams were just at Disneyland playing, or Disney World playing in Orlando. As I was saying earlier, you can associate a lot of things in sports to certain memories, and I remember during that time, Anthony Davis had just gone on the Lakers. It was his first year, and like I associate that time a lot with me kind of being sad about college, because I ended up not getting into any of the places I really wanted to go to, and instead I actually went to like a place I would have never seen myself going to. And at the end of the day, I was still appreciative of the opportunity, but I associate that time a lot with like sadness. And so being able to like watch those games and have something to kind of like cheer me up, I associate it with that a lot. So Anthony Davis getting traded, I don't even know how to describe it. It just kind of shut me down, right? Like it definitely did make me sad, because it reminded me of things just like always changing. Like just the fact that things always change, right? In sports, we can kind of also relate ourselves to specific players and kind of relate ourselves to the journey that they're on. And we can see ourselves in them, right? Or at least see ourselves in the journey, in the process that they're taking to try to get better, to try to be successful. It's not just the fact that, oh, they're just playing like a child's game, right? Because at the end of the day, at its foundation, that is what they're doing. But since it's like broadcasted and it's televised and you can keep track of it, it's almost like you're like growing up with that person. It's like you have direct perspective into their life, so you can follow what they're doing and how they're getting better throughout the year. A player that I followed a lot, or that I still follow a lot, is Lamar Jackson, and I relate myself to him, to Lamar Jackson, in the aspect that whenever, like I said earlier, I didn't get into the college I wanted to go to, and I felt at that time like nobody believed in me, or that I wasn't good enough. This was similar to Lamar's situation when he was first transitioning from college to the NFL. He didn't get drafted until like I think the 32nd pick in the first round, which at the time was really, I don't think it was unexpected, but it was insane for a lot of fans who were watching him in college to see him being underestimated, even though he had won a Heisman. And so I'm watching Lamar Jackson every year kind of get better, kind of come closer to that dream, to that goal that he has in mind, which I'm guessing is to win a Super Bowl. Like, that's the very first thing he said whenever they picked him, right? In that interview, he was like, Baltimore, I'm bringing you a championship. I then reflect that back to my life and how, like, every single year I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get noticed. I'm trying to get to that ultimate goal, which for me at this point in time would be to get into a graduate program for biochemistry. And yeah, it kind of inspires you because you're seeing them get better, and you're like, you know what, you know, I also want this for myself, right? I want to get better every year. I want to be able to physically look back in time and be like, wow, 4 years ago I was at this point. Now I'm here. I've grown a lot. I've put a lot of work into the product that I am today. And so, I mean, sports can kind of inspire you in that way, right? You see somebody working so hard and you want to be that. You don't want to be the person that falls behind, person that's forgotten. And yeah, it's different for every person, but for me as a sports fan, I take it like that a lot of the time. Like I said earlier, I associate a lot of feelings and memories into like certain games that I was watching, and it reminds me of that, which is why it's sad to see a player leave, because you're like, wow, this thing that was consistent for the last 6 years of my life is now, it's gone. Of course, it's just a part of life, right? We move out one day, we leave the place that we grew up in, we get our first apartment, get our first house, and things are just in a constant state of disorder. Just a reminder that that's how things go. That's the one thing that's constant in our lives, right? Change. But yeah, that is all I really wanted to say. Expect more videos from me in the future. But for now, I hope y'all have a great week. I hope y'all, it's February, it's still very early into the year, so I hope you all doing well, working hard, stacking wins, and yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video.